Okay, so by the time I got my 100 oil wells, I was doing right around $50,000 or $60,000 a month, and that come out to I was doing better than $600,000 a year, and all of this was done because I took personal responsibility, and at that time the United States offered opportunity. They didn't give me nothing. The government gave me nothing. All they did was got out of my way and let me produce, let me do something with my life. And at the end of this, I was in there about 6 years, and at the end, the government decided I was making too much money. So they hit me with a windfall profit tax, and that was 1/3 of the money I made, the government took. And after that, then I paid taxes on everything. So in other words, that's like if you have your business, and at the end of the day, the government agent comes in, opens your cash drawer, and takes 1/3 of your money out every day. And then now you have to make a living with the other stuff. So that's what they did to me. And it's a very expensive business. The oil business is very expensive. And even now it's really super expensive. But what I loved about it was the hard, dirty work. And and I did really good. I did really good. Now, what I'm talking about, the moral of the story is, how has the United States changed? Well, it was the regulations. Now, try to drill an oil well now. I dare you to try to drill an oil well. The people that are drilling the oil well, they have regulations they got to go by. You have regulations to hire them. There's got to be certain things got to be done before you can do it. To complete the well, you're going to have to hire people that have that cover all the regulations, permits, and certificates and all that crap, and all this. But remember, when we started this, there was cars lined up. There was a gas shortage. Just like 2 or 3 years, bam, we had plenty of gas. There was no problem. We could produce. If you stay out of the way, the Americans can produce a lot. And those days aren't here anymore. In about 1984, 1985, somewhere like that, is when they start doing the windfall profit tax. Wasn't just on me, it did it on everybody. And everybody started losing money and all this kind of stuff. Now, for me, like I said, I had like over 100 oil wells, but each batch of oil wells, it could be one, it could be 6, 8, 10, 20 of them, was a different company. And it depends on who put the money in. And first, when I started, I just did it all myself. And then I had some rich oil guys come in, and they wanted to give me money, and they were going to pay all the drilling and getting it all set up and everything. I just have to do all the work. So, and the way you make sense on something like that is, do you want 100% of each oil well, and then when you get bad oil wells and you lose a lot of money, do you want 100% of that? So that's what I learned back in those days, is it's better to give me some here, some there, some there, some there, and if I lose some, you're just going to lose a little bit. So I went on and started taking money from these rich guys, and I say they didn't want to get involved in it or nothing. All they wanted was some place to dump their money. And the reason they came to me is, like I say, they saw the kind of results I I got in such a short amount of time, and they could see how I could produce a lot. I did a lot, and it wasn't like, and for me, it wasn't like I bought all the fancy cars and bought all this kind of stuff. No, I didn't do that. And what I did on all my loans, I had to make loans. Man, I was dealing with more money than I've ever seen before in my whole life. I mean, I was writing, 6-digit checks, and so I had to make loans. The thing is, I would make 2 and 3 payments every month on loans. This way, when I wanted to have everything paid off, and then once I had everything paid off, then I could just sit back and I wouldn't have to produce so much, because I was working anywhere from 18, 20, 22 hours a day. I mean, I knew this was just going to be for a time, and then it was going to stop. I didn't realize it was going to stop that quick. I mean, it was within 4 to 6 months. That's when everybody went broke. Now, for me, like I say, I was able to, I had everything paid down so much, I was able to get a lot of the stuff paid off. I think I ended up with, I want to say $70,000 or $80,000 in debt when it got finished up. And like I say, I didn't wait for the 4 to 6 months. I mean, I saw it right when it started happening. I knew what was happening, and within a month or two, I started shutting everything down, and I started liquidating and doing all kinds of stuff. So that 80-some thousand, I got it down quite a bit. I want to say for like 20,000, something like that. And I used some of the money that I had to buy a restaurant. Restaurants, I know how they work. And so, buenos dias. I ended up buying a restaurant and making money, and that helped me get everything paid off also. I ended up, my debt, it ended up like in the 90s, mid to late 90s, I finally paid off the last bank. I didn't go bankrupt, and I kept my word. That's why I was able to get so many people on board, because we all made money. And I've mentioned that before. A business deal is when everybody makes money. When one of the people involved loses money, it's not a business deal. It's somebody screwed this guy. So. And I don't do that kind of stuff. And it was funny because I think it was about 2000 and, let's see, my wife was still alive, so it'd been 2007, 2008. A guy one of the owners of the bank, emailed me. He finally found out I was still alive or something, and he emailed me and thanked me for paying off my note. So, but like I say, it used to be your word meant something. It used to be when people saw you with the good word, they saw you as a worker, they saw you not wasting and doing stupid stuff, that drew people to you. So nowadays, it's more of the corruption draws people, the glitter of the money. And that's really what brings everybody together now. And like I say, so you really have to watch out how you do this. A lot of my work when I was in the oil, a lot of it was done by a handshake, and that was it. So, and also during that time, the banks, a lot of banks went broke, savings and loans, stuff like that. They all went broke. I'm not sure. Like I say, I was young. I was focused on work, and then when everything went bad, I was focused on money. And I really wasn't worried about money because I was making so much money. And like I say, it's not that I didn't buy a fancier house. I was really conservative and took care of my obligations. And when you get in those kind of habits, they'll stick with you. You get in a habit of lying, cheating, stealing, it's going to stick with you too. So, but I say, it used to be there was a distinct line between the criminals and, you know, the bad people and the good, hardworking people. Nowadays, everybody, they're not hardworking people. And why aren't they hardworking people? Because they do what they're told, and they limit what they're going to do. Like I say, I would have 2, 3, 4 businesses running at the same time, and like I say, what do most people do now? They put their time in, and then that's it. They don't want to do anymore. They're not looking. We have that opportunity. They're not looking for that opportunity and to do something with that opportunity. That's right back to a sheeple. And they just do what they're told. Their education is limited to what it says on that piece of paper. That's where their education is limited to. So there's a lot. And like I say, I'm here in Guatemala. It's poor, it's nothing. Third world country, it's no good. I still find opportunity here. Why? Because these people are taught there is no opportunity. The opportunity is in the United States. And when they go to the United States, they go to the United States for the money. They don't go to become an American. They don't go to take opportunity and do something with it. No, they just want the damn money, and that's it. They don't want to change their attitude, change the way they think, change their anything. They just want the damn money, and that's it. That's why I get a little grumpy when I think about the illegals. A lot of my family came over as illegals, but they became Americans. They changed their attitude. They created jobs. They taught people skills, no different than I did, and I'm still doing it now. So, but like I say, people don't want to learn. They don't want to take advantage of all the opportunity we have. Think about it. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.